I believe that every single being on this planet was sent here with work that they were meant to do and with other people and other beings that they were meant to resonate with and connect with. And I believe that everybody's divine mission is important. And I think our goal on this planet is to come here. And I think what it's all about is coming here, having a divine remembrance of that gift, and then doing everything we can to show up and deliver it. I think that's the journey of this life on this planet.
This is Leah Steele, aka The Wealth Witch, and this is my podcast. I'm here to activate you to remembrance of your divine birthright to be wealthy in all areas of your life. This podcast is for people ready to have controversial conversations about the financial control, manipulation, and tyranny that faces humanity today. I'm gonna live in freedom, freedom. I'm gonna live my destiny. I'm gonna live my freedom, freedom. I'm gonna live, the time is right now. The Wealth Witch. It's for the people who are ready to wake up, deconstruct their wealth programming, and free themselves from the financial slavery consciousness that serves the global financial agenda. I'm committed to realizing a new global wealth paradigm where economic freedom is the reality and where you get to design and live the life of your dreams. Now let's do the damn thing.
Hey, and welcome to another episode of the Wealth Witch podcast. I'm your host, Leah Steele, the Wealth Witch. So today I decided to get on and riff about something that has been on my mind a lot lately, but it's also something that people ask me all the time. And the question that I'm constantly getting is, how do you show up so consistently? I was talking with a girlfriend the other day and she was saying, I feel like it's actually deceiving how much it appears you're online, because I don't think you're actually online as much as you are. And it seems like you never have time off or you never have downtime because it seems like you're everywhere. And we were laughing about it because I was like, yeah, I know it feels like I'm everywhere, but I'm really fortunate that I have an incredible team that repurposes my content. And so, it appears that I'm online a lot when I'm not. But one of the things that people are always asking me is, how have I built this business, the Leah Steele brand and the Wealth Witch brand? How have I built the business? How have I become so successful in such a short amount of time? And so I want to talk about this a little bit because, first and foremost, it's not easy. It's a lot of work. It requires a lot of discipline. It requires a lot of dedication, and it requires a lot of consistency. I used to hate the word consistency, and I had so much resistance to it that early on, even in my business, I would be like, well, fuck consistency. You don't need to show up all the time. You just need to show up when it's in alignment for you and when it feels right for you. And, I think that in theory, when you're first starting your business, that's definitely something that can be true. But if you really, truly desire to scale to multiple mid to high six figures and into seven figures, you have to show up consistently. Feeling like it or not feeling like it actually has nothing to do with it. And while, yes, I believe that, you should be always doing what you can to show up from a place of alignment, sometimes we have to show up when it doesn't feel fully aligned. And, that's because we have people depending on us and we have, at this point, I have staff, I have employees, I have multiple programs running at a time. I have multiple one-on-one clients that I'm seeing. And so alignment isn't always a considering factor these days. Now, I will say that for me, there's a big difference between alignment and energetic availability. So if you've worked with me one-on-one or you've worked with me in one of my mid to high level programs, you know that if I'm not fully 100% energetically available for showing up for a call, particularly if I'm taking another person through a emotional clearing process or a transformational process, or I'm delivering content that has a transmission or an activation coming with it, I won't do it. Now that is because of the level of integrity that I bring to my business and the respect that I have for myself and my clients. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit as well, because I think that's another important factor to consider when you're talking about scaling, or you're talking about how do you become successful, or you're talking about how do I hit that next benchmark in my business. So, I think there's a difference between alignment and energetic availability. And for me, those are two very different things. I think a lot of people see the life that I live and the business that I've built, and it looks quite glamorous from, the stories on Instagram and the, recordings of the different programs and the graphics from the podcast. I think that, the life can look quite glamorous. And what I would say is that, yes, absolutely, I have an amazing life. I get to stay in amazing hotels, and I have an amazing villa that I live in. And, when it's open to travel, I get to travel in luxury and stay in 5-star hotels. And I enjoy the finer things in life. And I love providing for myself and my family in that way. And that's about 20% of my life. And the other 80% of my life is actually quite hard work, a lot of discipline, and a lot of dedication, and a lot of devotion to the work that I do. Now, that saying of find something you love to do and you'll never work a day in your life is so true for me, because I love what I do. I'm obsessed with it. I love my clients. I love my business. I love my brand. And as a result of that, it's easy for me most of the time to be disciplined, to be consistent, to show up, because I love what I do. And I have worked hard to cultivate that conscious connection between myself and my divine immortal soul, the highest level version of myself, and God, source, universe, all that is. And I walk a path in this lifetime that I believe is divinely guided. And I believe that I have been given a divine mission to serve on this planet, and that my job is to constantly be checking in with source to find out how that mission is evolving, and to show up every single day to deliver that message and that mission to the world and the people that are meant to receive it. And that also makes it easy for me to be dedicated and disciplined and consistent. Something that I tell people all the time is we all have, each and every one of us has a unique gift that we were sent to this planet with. And nobody else has our energetic signature and frequency. So as a result of that, even if two people were sent to the planet with similar gifts, or even the same gift, let's say the same gift, two people are sent here with the same gift to deliver to the beings on this planet. They each have unique energy signatures, which means that neither of them are delivering it the same as the other. And because of their unique energy signature, there are certain people on this planet that are going to be aligned to that frequency and to that vibration. So I believe that every single being on this planet was sent here with work that they were meant to do, and with other people and other beings that they were meant to resonate with and connect with. And I believe that everybody's divine mission is important. And I think our goal on this planet is to come here. And I think what it's all about is coming here, having a divine remembrance of that gift, and then doing everything we can to show up and deliver it. I think that's the journey of this life on this planet and of being a human being. It's to remember why we came, and then do everything in our power to fulfill the mission that we were given. And I think that's, I think it really can be as simple as that. And when we are committed to that and we choose a life of living divinely led and being divinely guided, and then we just wake up every day and ask, how can we serve? We're going to get the answer. And then life actually gets to be quite easy. The thing that I tell my clients, especially my high level clients, when they're having difficulty with the discipline part, or they're having difficulty with consistency, or they're having difficulty making commitments to themselves and then showing up for them when it comes to their purpose work, is that if your life ended tomorrow, and after you leave this planet, wherever you go, wherever that is that we go when we leave here and this life ends, I believe that we meet our creator. And I believe that our creator is us. But we meet that version of us that is God, source, universe, all that is creator. And my question always is, if you died tomorrow and you met your creator and you hadn't done everything you possibly could do to remember your divine mission, or if you know it, to deliver it, and your creator asked you, why didn't you do the work? Why didn't you deliver the message? Is because you couldn't hold yourself accountable going to be a good enough reason? Is because you were worried what your neighbor or your grandmother or your parent or your brother or your sister or your best friend were going to think about you? Is that going to be an acceptable answer? Is that you didn't feel like it going to be a good enough answer? Is that you felt you had imposter syndrome, or you didn't feel worthy, or you didn't feel good enough, or you were worried about being seen? Are any of those reasons going to be a good enough excuse when you meet your creator for why you didn't deliver your divine mission work? For me, none of those could ever be a good enough answer. And that is what motivates me to show up. And that is what motivates me to get up day after day and to record my content and to connect with source and to download the information that needs to come through. And it's not easy, because if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. I say this to you all the time. If it was easy, everyone would be a billionaire. They're not. It is the people that are willing to hold themselves accountable, that are willing to say to themselves, that excuse is bullshit, that are willing to kick their own asses, that are willing to show up even when they don't feel like it. Those are the people that not only become financially wealthy, but become wealthy in all the other areas of their life. And certainly those are the people that become spiritually wealthy. So that's just kind of one part of this. And then the other thing that I really wanted to talk about today was truth and integrity. And this is a piece that I think is missing for a lot of people. I have a new program that's going to be launching at the end of the year called Wealth Warrior. And this program is going to be a lot about how to bring ourselves into full truth and integrity with the work that we're here to do in the world. Because the truth is that if you're not creating the life that you desire, if you're not living your heaven on earth experience, if you haven't created the financial wealth and success that you desire to create in your life, it's because you are falling out of integrity with yourself, with the highest version of yourself, and with source. And we do that all the time because we continually accept our own excuses and bullshit ourselves. Integrity is something that's so important, but it's most important when it comes to self, being in integrity with self. So if you're not manifesting the way that you desire, if you're saying, I want to be making $50,000 a month, and you're continually coming in at 30 or 40 or 42 or even 48, don't get hung up on the number. That's just the number that popped into my head. the reason that you're not hitting 50 is not because your offer isn't good enough. It's not because your business isn't good enough. It is 100% because you are sending mixed messages in some way to God, source, universe, all that is, and yourself. Because if you weren't, you would have already hit your goal. Anytime that you are not achieving the financial successes that you desire, it is because you have fallen out of integrity with yourself. And we do this all the time. It's so insidious. There are so many ways that we fall out of integrity with ourselves. We commit to doing something. We say we're going to do something. And even if we're like, oh, I'm just going to put that off till tomorrow, that in and of itself is you falling out of integrity with yourself. So now the universe says, oh, you want 50,000? Well, I'll just give that to you tomorrow. Right? And enough tomorrows go by. And then the next thing you know, you're not achieving the thing that you desire for 2 or 3 months after the deadline that you've given, or after the time that you've set that you said that you wanted it in. It's these little moments of not following through. It's these little moments of falling out of integrity with ourselves. It's these little lies that we tell ourselves that pull us out of that pure, divine place and ability of manifestation. Because the truth is that we are the most powerful creators in our reality, and that we can create anything and everything that we desire by staying in integrity and staying in truth of what it is that we desire. Now, obviously, there's some other steps there. We need to get clear on why we want the thing. We can't stay in integrity if we don't know why we want the thing and how it's going to positively impact us and how it's going to positively impact our family and our community and the world. Like, all of those steps are really important in order to be able to stay in integrity. But this piece of like, where am I bullshitting myself? Where am I telling myself little lies? Where am I making excuses and justifications for my lack of discipline, my lack of dedication, my lack of ability to keep my commitments to myself? Those are the reasons why you haven't created and manifested the thing that you desire in your life. I can tell you this because I do it all the time. Like, I catch myself making these little justifications, falling out of integrity with myself. And it's one step beyond not being in alignment with your desires, right? This is the piece that's more insidious. This is the piece that a lot of people won't talk about. It's the part of, I'm lying to myself so that I can be lazy, or I'm lying to myself so that I can receive instant gratification in this moment instead of being disciplined and keeping my eye on the prize or on the vision or on the long-term goal. And it's hard. Like, it's really hard. And I'm certainly not perfect at it. I have goals I haven't hit. And this podcast is as much a reminder for me as it is for you of holding ourselves accountable for the work that we're meant to do in the world and for the desires that we want to achieve. I think desires are the most beautiful thing. They're such an important part of our human experience. We have the ability to desire things. We have the ability to want things. And it shits me to no end when the spiritual community tries to put a negative spin on this, or tries to make it seem like it's bad to want or it's bad to desire. I hear this bullshit all the time around like, oh, those words are energetically low vibrating words. Bullshit. Look, we chose to come here to this planet to have a 3D human experience. And part of that experience is desire and wanting. And we were given that so that we could learn and see how powerful we are. Because when we vision those desires and we tap into that feeling of want, and then we set a goal, and then we go after that with all of our heart and all of our soul, and we achieve that, then we get to have the realization and the knowing of how incredible we are what amazing manifestors we are, and what divine creators we are. It's all part of our human experience. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful to desire. It's beautiful to hold a vision of something better that you desire and want for you, for your loved one, for your children's, for your significant others, your children's, your children, your significant others. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. And we also are so programmed and conditioned to believe that we're not worthy, that we are our own biggest obstacles. So we set the desire, and then we have all this programming and conditioning that's been put into us around like, oh, is it greedy to want that? Oh, maybe I shouldn't want too much. Maybe that's too much to want. That's too much to ask for. That's too much to go after. You know, why do I need to make $1 million when I could be just as happy living with 500,000? Or why do I need to make $1 million when there are children starving and living in poverty in certain parts of the world? So we have all this shit that's put upon us from the time that we're little kids, right? And it makes it really difficult for us to go after our desires. Well, that's all by design. The global elite don't want you realizing how powerful you are and that you are as powerful a creator as you are, because then you would no longer be under their thumb. You would no longer be easy to control and manipulate. And so the programming, it works really, really well. And they don't really even need to do anything to us because we're hindering ourselves. We're putting the obstacles in place. We're putting up the gates. We're putting up the walls that keep us operating inside our small little box. But we get to choose now in this moment to step outside of that. We get to choose to see the house of cards that's been built around us. We think we're living in this like fortress where we can't get out, when really it's all just fucking smoke and mirrors. And we can literally blow it down with a decision. So what is it that you desire? What is it that you, right now, just take a moment, and whatever the first thing is that comes to you, that's the thing, right? But it's like, right now, what do you truly desire? What is one thing that you want? The next thing is, how are the ways that you are sabotaging that desire on a daily basis? What are the things that you know you should be doing, and what are the ways that you're sabotaging that thing on a daily basis? I really encourage you to go journal about this. Journal and reflect on what your biggest desire is right now. And journal and reflect on, what are the things that you know that you could be doing on a daily basis to move you closer to that? But more importantly, ask yourself, how are you sabotaging that desire? What are the things that you're doing that are keeping you from that desire? How are you your biggest enemy? And once you set the goal, so just having a desire is one thing, but once you set a goal to achieve something, it is so important to regularly, weekly, if not daily. For me, it's a daily thing. Like, where am I out of integrity with the things that I'm saying that I'm desiring? Where am I telling myself little lies? Where am I making little justifications? Where am I making excuses for why I can't do the thing that I say I want? And the biggest one, I think, is that, when we have these big desires and we create a vision of the thing that we want, and, we set a goal, we set a course, we're human beings. And it is so in our nature to desire instant gratification. And usually our big goals and our big desires, they take some time. They take discipline. They take consistency. They take dedication. They take us being devotional to that desire above all other things. But what ends up happening is we get bored, or we get frustrated, or it gets hard, and we get distracted by something that will give us instant gratification, whether that's a bottle of wine, whether that's a piece of chocolate cake, whether that's spending money on something that isn't in alignment with that vision and that goal. But we engage in these self-gratifying behaviors as a means of self-sabotage to keep us from achieving the vision, to reinforce our belief that we're not worthy and we're not deserving of that thing that we desire. So none of this is easy. It takes work. It takes a tremendous amount of self-reflection and personal accountability and personal responsibility. And the truth is that no matter how good your mentor is, no matter how good the coach is, no matter how much money you're paying them, ultimately, the only person that can hold you accountable is you. And it's uncomfortable to kick our own ass every day, but more people need to be doing it. And I promise you, if you take these couple of things I've asked you to reflect upon, and you make a commitment to holding yourself radically responsible for the commitments that you make to yourself, and you make a commitment to be completely accountable to the vision that you're holding for your desires, and you make a commitment to stop making justifications, to stay fully in integrity with yourself and with the highest version of yourself, your life will transform. So that's it for today. I love you all. I have been loving this season so far. I hope that you have been as well. I would love to hear from you what your thoughts and feelings are. So if you haven't already left me a review, letting me know what you think, please do that. And if you'd like to contact us directly and you have suggestions or comments or questions, we're always there to answer anything that you may have. And we really, really enjoy receiving your feedback. And if there's anything you want to hear me riff on, send that over as well. You can always email us at media@theleahsteele.com. We'll also put that in the show notes. And so until next time, remember, it is your divine birthright to be wealthy in all areas of your life. And you are so worthy and you are so deserving. You are the most powerful creator in your reality. Never forget it. That's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to connect with me on social media and reach out. I love hearing from you. And if you want more of me, real, raw, and uncensored, make sure to join the Wealth Witch Telegram channel. It's my free channel where I share all of my random daily musings as well as the information that I feel like is important and pertinent to my community. We've put a link to the Telegram channel in the show notes, so make sure to come join us over there if that intrigues you. Remember, wealth is a mindset, and you are the most powerful creator in your reality. Until next time, this is the Wealth Witch signing off.